Welcome back to the Live Legacy Now podcast. I am so glad that you are here today. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard that saying, you can't hit a target you can't see? Well, that is so true in all areas of life, but especially in real estate. We're right here back living on Tulsa time here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And like I said, I'm so glad that you're back with us. And today we're going to talk about goal setting, goal achieving, and then resetting. So let me tell you a little story. I've been a real estate broker here in Tulsa, Oklahoma for 25 years. And over that time, I've helped probably close to 1,000 families achieve their real estate goals. And last week was no different. But what is interesting to me about last week is I had 2 different clients. And when I sit down with people, I ask them right up front, what are your goals? And the reason I do that is because remember back in the day whenever we didn't have GPS on our phones, and there was this thing called Mapquest, and you could print off your directions. And I don't know, I kind of like that. I'm getting ready to be 50. I don't think you might not know that, but it's a pretty big deal to me right now. And looking back at all the things I've learned over the past 50 years and then how I want the next 50 years to be different. And so I remember, like I said, when I was in high school, we had Mapquest. And so there were directions printed out. Nowadays, we have GPS and it's on our phones and people are telling us things. And so I think that that's a really good analogy for life, is that sometimes if we don't have things written down and we're listening to something, well, then something might come on the radio and then a client starts talking or your kids start talking and you get distracted and then you lose direction. And that is such a good analogy for every part of life, but especially goal setting. So last week, I had a first-time home buyer came to me and she said, okay, I'm ready to buy my house. And so we sat down and I said, okay, first thing we need to talk about is what is your budget? And I have a very great relationship with the loan officer here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but he can actually do loans everywhere. His name is Chuck Wilson. So if you need that resource, please message below or connect with me so that I can give you his information. And I said, well, you need to sit down with a loan officer and talk about how much you want to spend. We need to set a budget because with real estate transactions, typically, now I'm going to get a little nerdy on you for just a second. You want your monthly payment to be about half of your income. Now, that's a very broad rule. I am not trying to pre-qualify you over this podcast, but I do want to give you little tidbits that you can hopefully tuck away in your mind for whenever you're ready to use them. So if you make $5,000 a month, generally speaking, you don't want your house payment to be more than $2,500. Easy math, right? So she goes to the loan officer, she gets approved, and she comes back to me and she says, okay, Jen, I can spend up to $240,000. So we have a goal and now we have a target that we're trying to hit. And so I can make us a roadmap to get there. Same exact scenario last week. Now she's coming in from San Antonio. One thing that's amazing about Tulsa is we have such an affordable economy here. I am born and raised in Tulsa. And this is a fun fact. I've lived in a 9-mile radius my whole life. And some people might think that's boring, but I think it's golden. And prices here are so low. A lot of people from other states are relocating here. So if you know someone in another state that might want to relocate, Tulsa is where they should look at for sure. Another reason people move is because of a change in life situation. And for this particular person, she was ready to get more stable, close to family. So I've got this lady coming in from San Antonio, relocating to Tulsa. We've got a $240,000 budget. Now, fun fact, our average sales price in Tulsa right now is $257,000. And we are experiencing more inventory than we've had in several years because of the COVID crazy. And so we have about a 31-day supply of homes on the market. So that's a good time to be a buyer in this market. There's a lot of choices. So I found 13 homes within her criteria. And now not just price, we have several different criteria that we can guide you on. So this is one of the reasons that it's really important to get a real estate professional instead of just going on Zillow and choosing a bunch of random houses. So she told me she had about a 6 square mile radius that she wanted to be within, and also the price range. Okay. Last week, also, I had another client that was coming in from California. Now, in California, prices are about triple of what they are here in Tulsa. And this client had sold a commercial property. So they had a little over $1 million to spend. And if you are not familiar with what a 1031 asset exchange is, you definitely need to connect with me, message me. Like I said, get in touch with me, because I actually did a 1031 myself this year. And the purpose of a 1031 asset exchange is to save money on taxes, because who wants to give away 30% of your profit, right? So this client coming here from California tells me they have $1.1 million that they need to spend. They were flying in on a Thursday and flying out on a Sunday, and they had 4 different areas they wanted to look in. So let's talk about the surrounding areas of Tulsa for just a moment. If you're just getting familiar with our channel or with me, I live kind of in the middle of Tulsa, but touching Tulsa are some suburbs: Jenks, Bixby, Broken Arrow, and Owasso. Okay. A lot of the people moving here want to be in those suburbs surrounding Tulsa areas because of the school district. These clients do not have children that are school age, but what they are doing is they are diversifying their assets, and they are buying rental property here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So let's take a little sidestep for just a second. I bought my first rental property when I was 20. Well, I bought my first property when I was 20. I bought my first rental property when I was 22 years old. And as I told you, I'm almost 50. And so throughout those years, I've learned so much. So again, if you have any questions about building a real estate portfolio, you need to connect with me so that I can help you, because I want to take the purpose of this podcast is for me to take everything that I've learned and pour it into you so that you can learn from my mistakes instead of having to go through the same mistakes that I made. And so this client is, they said we want to buy, they thought originally they would buy 3 houses for around $300,000 per house. And by the time it all shook down, we would be around that $1.1 million mark. So their journey was much different than the $240,000 buyer's journey. However, they were the same. So with every episode that we have, there is going to be at the end a 3, 2, 1. So 3 things you learned, 2 things that you're going to share with someone else, and then 1 thing that you're going to implement. So one thing for sure that I want you to know is whether your goals are to buy 1 house for $240,000 or 3 houses for $1 million, here at Legacy Realty Advisors, we have someone that can help you. It may be me, it may be one of my other agents, but we want to help you achieve your goals, no matter how big or how small. Yesterday, I actually met with someone, and he is now starting to liquidate his real estate portfolio. And we're going to put one of his investment properties on the market for $139,000. So that's the beauty of Tulsa. That's why everyone needs to come live on Tulsa time for at least a little bit, because there's so much opportunity here for you that you might not find in other states. So The other thing I wanted to talk about with the goal setting is if it is it has to happen. So let me say this. Okay. I have a fitness trainer certification. I am a fitness fanatic. I love people being healthy, and I love to help people live their best life. And so whenever we're setting goals for people, and now mind you, it's just a hobby. It's not my career. It's one of my passions. But we help people set SMART goals. So your goals, as you are writing these down, hopefully you're listening to this. Maybe you're taking notes. Maybe you're on a jog and this is going into your subconscious, whatever it is, however you're receiving this content, you are smart and your goals should be smart as well. So let me tell you what a SMART goal is. It is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. Okay, SMART. So we have the specific goal. We need to buy $1 million or $200,000 worth of real estate. Measurable. How many houses are we going to look at? Now, when we're talking about a real estate journey, I just have to tell you, really looking at more than 8 houses at a time is very difficult. And here's why. They all start to run together. And so, for instance, I encourage my clients, because I want you guys to have fun. I mean, life is too short to not have fun while we're at it. So when we're out looking at houses, if we see a house, I'm just going to give you some names of houses that my clients and I have named houses before. So one of the houses we did buy this past week, we called it epoxy driveway. Okay, what does that mean? Well, driveways are usually just basically concrete. Well, these people were so extra and they wanted their house to show so nicely that they put epoxy on their driveway and their sidewalk leading into their house. So another house that we saw, we called cat pee because it smelled like cat pee inside of it. So when you go look at houses with me, if you do, we are going to have a good time. And I'm going to help you reach your goals, period. So attainable in the Tulsa market, going back to the SMART acronym, attainable, yes, it is very attainable for you to be able to buy a home in this market right now, whatever price range you're in, because of the amount of inventory that we have. We don't have too much inventory, but we have enough. So realistic. Now, let's talk about realistic. This is always an opportunity that I have with people that say, especially first-time home buyers, have this challenge or opportunity, if you want to look at it that way. They'll say, I want to be, within walking distance to a park. It needs to be on one level. I must have 2 bathrooms. I need a 2-car garage. I need a fully fenced backyard, and I want to spend $200,000. Okay. That's not realistic. Unless you're willing to compromise on location. Okay. What I always tell my sellers is what you're going to get for your home is based on 3 things: condition, location, and motivation. What condition is your home in? What location is your home in? And how motivated are you to move it? Same thing goes for buyers. So, we have to make sure that the goals are realistic and then time bound. This is a criteria that a lot of people forget to add on when they're setting their goals. So maybe you can listen to this later when you have something to write with. Maybe you're sitting down and you can write right now. What I want you to think of is, think of a goal, something that you want to accomplish that could make your life either easier or more manageable. Okay? Write it down. Because remember, you can't hit a target you can't see. And then put this criteria to it. So maybe your goal, I'm very hopeful that this episode is going to drop around my birthday, which is middle of April. So let's say that you're hearing this mid-April and you want to be swimsuit ready by the summer. Okay? So you've got 6 weeks. So you're going to set some specific goals, some SMART goals. Specific, you want to lose 15 pounds by Memorial Day. Measurable, you have a scale. Attainable, is that attainable? I don't know. It depends on how many pounds you have to lose. Realistic, and then time bound. So I just want you to make sure that every goal that you're setting from the time you hear this going forward meets those criteria so that you're setting yourself up for success. And also, this isn't about specifically about fitness, but let me just tell you, you're going to hear about the 5 pillars in every episode that we have. What I would really like is to have 5 episodes and each one of them be about a different pillar and then recircle those. So fitness is one of the 5 F's: faith, family, fitness, fun, and finances. So when it comes to fitness, I want to encourage you about 2 things. Whoever you are, if you're listening to this, you are a miracle. Your health is a blessing. It is a luxury. And if you can go for a walk, then you're probably better off than a lot of people who can't. So please do not take your health for granted. And if you do want to lose weight or if that's a goal of yours, I would love for you to do an in-body analysis. Go to any gym in your town. If you're in Tulsa, call me and we'll go together. And because your weight is not the only measure that you have of your fitness, it could also be your body mass, your muscle. So I digress. Let's get back on to our 2 clients, our $1 million and our $250,000. The 250 we looked at, she picked out 13 houses. We narrowed it down to 6. We found one of the 6 that we loved. I ran what's called a comparative market analysis on that neighborhood. We made an offer. They counteroffered. We got it negotiated, and now we're in contract. So that is a huge success story of someone who came in town and had a time frame to do something that we were able to help accomplish that goal. Okay. The other couple, the $1 million couple, we looked at, I want to say probably more than 20 houses because we had a bigger task to undertake. And we bought 1 house in Broken Arrow School District, 1 house in Bixby School District, 1 house in Owasso School District, and then another house that bordered Broken Arrow, Jenks, and Bixby. So we ended up getting in contract on 4 different houses, all in the areas that they wanted to be in, all in the price ranges they wanted to be in, and all within the parameters that are going to lease for maximum value and also get them the return that they needed. So my commitment to you is if you come to me with a goal, I'm going to sit down with you. I'm going to map out. I'll be your old school Mapquest. We will map out the best route to get to your end target, and together we will achieve that goal. And it's never going to be about me or about commission or about ease. It's always going to be about you and what you need and what's really important to you. So this past week, I have a lot of gratitude for what happened last week because it reminded me of, number 1, how fun the journey is for a first-time home buyer. And then number 2, how important the journey is for real estate investors. So if you want to start building your real estate portfolio, call me. If you want to buy your first home, call me. Whatever you need in that area, I can help you. And also, if you would like to get swimsuit ready, you can also call me. But that's not actually what this is about. But it is, because at the end of the day, this is called Live Legacy Now. And your legacy isn't something that you're going to leave behind when you're gone. Yes, you do leave a legacy, but you build that legacy based on all the decisions that you're making today. That's why everything we do is so important. And you know what? You're human. I'm human. We're going to fail. It's all about progress, not perfection. So don't beat yourself up if you fail. I failed 2 days ago. I said something to a friend I really wish I had not said, but you can't take words back. And there's something funny that I read one time. It says there's his side, her side, and then there are the text messages. And that's where the truth is. So, but just correct quicker. If you realize that you made a mistake, apologize, decide you're not going to do that again, and move forward in a healthy direction. So 3, 2, 1, 3 things you learned. Number 1, you need to get pre-qualified before you start looking for a home. Number 2, when you set a goal, it needs to be written down. And number 3, all of your goals should be SMART. 2 things that you're going to share. Hopefully, you're going to share something that you learned today, because whenever you share something, it reinforces it in you. And then also, I hope that you're going to share this podcast because we want to grow. We want to multiply our value, and we can do that by you helping us. And the one thing that you're going to do is you're going to subscribe and you're going to come back, because we want to add value to you. And do not forget, you are living your legacy right now, every day, every decision that you make. So do the best you can. And that's really all we can ask. And I cannot wait to see you again soon. Hey guys, thank you so much for your time today. If you got value out of what we talked about, please share this with someone that you want to start living their life with purpose, on purpose. And remember, you are living your legacy right now, and I cannot wait to see you again next time.